Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you all had a good weekend. We're going to start things off today talking about an interesting video here with the World of Outlaws and High Limit creating a potentially unintentional speed week on two different occasions. I do not think that this was on purpose. Before we get into that, I did want to share a couple of things that did just come in the mail here. And the first one is one that a lot of people seem to be excited about. It is the first ever Rodman Rundown t-shirt that came in the mail. I'm utilizing a website that prints on demand. If you're a channel member, you already know about this, but this is the first one ever. I wanted to order one. It's for my girlfriend, and she wanted the blue one, and I wanted to test out and see how the print was. The print is very nice. This is a Gildan brand shirt. There's going to be other ones as well, other styles. Like this is the classic version. There's going to be a premium version as well with the cotton or the 50-50 blend on it. But the print looks really good. There's going to be 4 different colors for each magnet that I use: red, blue, green, and black. But this is the very first one. And the channel members, I think I've made the executive decision that they will get the opportunity to order that stuff first before I get to 5,000 subscribers. And then that website will go live for people to buy that stuff. But for right now, the channel members are going to be able to order those things whenever they want. And I also got these in the mail as well. Real quick, I got the NARC King of the West logo here for a magnet. We'll be able to talk about them more with those. We got the Central PA magnet here, the J&S Classic Central PA Sprint Car Point Series. They don't really have a logo in Central PA, so that was as close as I can get. We've got the IRA logo as well, bumper-to-bumper IRA. We'll turn all of these into magnets. We've got the All-Star Circuit of Champions new logo that just came in the mail today. And then we've also got the Power Eye Racing, Honest Abe Roofing, 410 Outlaw Sprint logo as well. Be able to use those logos when their schedules come out and when we want to talk about them for random videos as well. So getting into today's topic, so when the schedules came out, I don't think anybody was anticipating seeing a lot of these tracks and things on the schedule. And one of the things that happened with this, and I don't know how this happens, but it's got to be random. I don't think the High Limit and the Outlaws were calling each other and saying, hey, why don't you guys run in Canada and we'll run in New York the next day? None of that was going on. I think this just happened to happen randomly, right? So a really good opportunity for fans in these two areas to see both the World of Outlaws and High Limit within the same week. I don't think many drivers are going to be able to get to all these races at the same time in the same week. The Outlaws, they have the restriction against their drivers. They're not going to want to go to, a race that pays $12,000 to win, the Outlaw guys, that is. They're going to want to go to big races like the ones at Eldora, and that they pay good and all that stuff, right? But it is very interesting to look at this. And for the fans, I think this is what this video is more for. They have this opportunity to go to a bunch of different racetracks and see all of the best drivers. So the first one takes place between New York and Canada on Wednesday, May 14th. So in the middle of the week, the Outlaws are going back to Oshweekend Speedway for the first time in like 7 years. They're going back to Canada. They're going to be there for 2 nights on Wednesday and Thursday, May 14th and 15th. And then the next night, May 16th on Friday, High Limit will be at Ransomville Speedway in New York. The very next night on Saturday, High Limit will be in New York as well at Utica Rome Speedway. And then on Sunday, May 18th, the Outlaws are still up in Canada at the Cornwall Motor Speedway. Now, if you're a fan looking to maybe go to all of these, which I would be willing to bet there's going to be quite a few people that go to, one of these 2 speed weeks and run all of them. I'm just calling it a speed week, even though it is not dubbed that officially. But Thursday to Friday, so the Oshweekend to Ransomville drive, an hour and a half only, and it's 80 miles. And then when you go from Ransomville to Utica Rome, that is a little bit more of a tow, 3 hours, 194 miles. And then from Utica Rome back up to Cornwall in Canada, it is a 3 hour and 15-minute drive, 192 miles. So really, that is not absolutely ridiculous for a race fan to go to all 5 of those races unless they don't have a passport, which is going to be very tough. But having to go through, the border and all that stuff, that's going to be a pain in the ass. And that's probably why you won't see any High Limit guys come from Oshweekend to run either Ransomville or Utica Rome. Number one, those races probably aren't going to pay more than $12,000 to win. And number two, the whole thing with Canada trying to get their race trailers across the border and stuff like that. I don't anticipate seeing any High Limit or Outlaw guys run between the 2 series during that week. But what could happen during the Wisconsin Speed Week, we could see maybe a couple of guys run between these two races here. So it starts off on Tuesday, June 3rd at the 141 Speedway with High Limit Racing. That is the Race Redeemed Foundation event, paying $26,000 to win. So you have to imagine that the Outlaw guys might have that one circled on their schedule. The problem with that is on the 31st of May, May 31st, the Outlaws are actually running at the Red River Valley Speedway in North Dakota. And by my calculations, I looked at it earlier, I believe it was a 6-hour drive from Red River Valley over to 141. So in about 3 days, they could definitely make it over there to the Race Redeemed Foundation race, which is definitely one that I think maybe a couple of guys have circled. It's $26,000 to win. It's in a big state like Wisconsin. They can come sell their t-shirts to a pretty wide fan base. I think you could see maybe a couple of guys go to that race there. But then the very next night, I don't have it on the board, but the Outlaws are actually going to Jackson, Minnesota, which is, I believe, another 6-hour drive. Maybe it's 8 hours from Red River Valley and then 6 hours from 141 over to Jackson, Minnesota. So that's going to be a really tough stretch right there if any of the Outlaw guys do try to do that. But for the fans, the very next night on June 4th, High Limit stays in the state of Wisconsin and they go to the Red Cedar Speedway. And then on Friday, June 6th, so one day between the Red Cedar race with High Limit, and then on Friday, June 6th, the Outlaws are back in Wisconsin at Plymouth Dirt Track. So if you're a Wisconsin fan, this is a really good week for you, and I'm sure a lot of people will be probably taking work off to hit all of these races. Saturday, June 6th, the Outlaws the very next night are at Beaver Dam Raceway in Wisconsin as well. And then on Sunday, June 8th, they round out that Wisconsin Speed Week, as I am dubbing it, at the Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. So that is a really fun week of racing. I've never been to a lot of these racetracks. I've never been to Angel Park, Plymouth, Red Cedar, 141. But I have heard good things about all of them, and they're all kind of smaller racetracks, a lot of action. And so I think this could be a really fun speed week to follow along with if you are a race fan. Now, looking down here, from Tuesday to Wednesday, from 141 to Red Cedar, it is a 3.5-hour drive that we're going to have to make with High Limit, 233 miles. And then from Wednesday to Friday, so you have a day off in between to go to the Outlaw Show, it's 4 hours, 260 miles to that one. And then the next night from Plymouth to Beaver Dam, it's only a 1-hour drive and 60 miles. And then to go from Beaver Dam to Angel Park, it's only 35 minutes and 31 miles. So you could definitely get a lot of racing in 1 week if you are either from New York or you're from Canada or you're from Wisconsin and you want to see the best drivers, whether it's with High Limit or with the World of Outlaws. You have a fantastic opportunity, which is pretty cool because the guys in New York and Canada, they kind of get the shaft a little bit every year. With the Outlaws, they get to go to Weed Sport. High Limit last year went to 2 races up there, but Canada's kind of been left out of the loop. I see a lot of Canadian fans came down to our races last year with High Limit. A lot of Canadian people come down to the Weed Sport races as well with the Outlaws. And so now those Canadian guys, they can go to Osh Weekend. They could go to all these races and get a pretty sizable schedule in, seeing the best sprint car drivers, not live on Flow, not live on Dirt Vision, but live in person. And so that is pretty cool. Also for Wisconsin, High Limit was shut out of Wisconsin last year. The Outlaws have a ton of races in that state this year, but this is a really big week right there. Let me know down in the comment section, are you guys, anybody watching these videos, going to be going to any of these speed weeks, trying to maybe make it to all of those races? I know we do have some Canadian people to watch the channel, some people from New York, a lot of people from Wisconsin. I know Racing Vagabond, one of our channel members, is up there. We'll see if maybe he comments down below and lets us know what he is planning on doing. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty cool thing, something maybe a lot of people haven't really noticed. I saw a tweet, maybe a Facebook post from somebody talking about this one, but this Wisconsin one, I feel like it's kind of flying under the radar. So figured I'd make a video about it. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Do you think the Outlaws and High Limit were kind of talking to each other back and forth? Hey, let's try and make a speed week. Because if you think that, you are definitely wrong. There's no way that this was, intentional, and that's why we have it labeled as unintentional speed weeks. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow here on the Rodman Rundown.